Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Schomburg Center for Research in Black Culture Centennial Festival. Yes, 100 years of Schomburg here in 2025. We're very excited to be here with you today in the poetry of our time. I'm really excited to welcome our poet, author, activist. I'm going to read a short bio so we can begin. And can you hear me? All right. Okay. Okay. So I can project a bit more. All right.
No.
No, it's okay. Thank you. Okay. So Samiya Bashir is the author of 4 poetry collections, including Field Theories, winner of the Oregon Book Award. Her newest book, I Hope This Helps, called her Magnus Opus by Jericho Brown, was just released this spring from Nightboat Books. A sought-after editor, teacher, and writing coach, Bashir serves as the June Jordan Visiting Scholar from Columbia University. Please join me in welcoming Samiya Bashir.
Hey y'all, hey y'all. It went off. There we go. Hello, good afternoon. I'm Samiya Bashir, and I'm really, really thrilled to be here with you all today. I'm going to share some work from my new book. I hope this helps, and I actually hope it helps. I mean that, and it's poetry, it's prose, it's stories, it's visual art, it's music. It's a transliteration of a lot of multimedia poetry practice into this book form. So we're going to have a conversation, but I'm going to open us up with the first poem in this book, which really sets up where we are here. It's called Per Aspera, which is part of a Latin phrase, ad astra per aspera, which means to the stars through difficulty. It's on the moon. It's like the state motto of Nebraska. But I let the stars be a given. And this is called Per Aspera. Listen. We ain't all well. This world spins designs which madden us, shape us like dough, bake us crisp. There may be those who will crumble us into paving for their own roads. Listen, we mustn't let them, but also love. We aren't all well. We can't all resist as well as we might. We can't all fight enough or at all, and I can't say how we heal. I wish I could. I would. I'll try. Thank you.
Thank you.
So that poem is one of those rare things that arrived kind of whole cloth and terrified me because it was like clear that that was going to be the opening of this book that I'd been writing. And that I'll try. It's like, oh, is that what I'm supposed to be doing here? Is that what I'm doing here? And it was really terrifying. And there was a moment in the final processing of this book where, you know, you proof it and you proof it and you read it and you read it. And I got to this is late in the editing process, and I read the last word of the last piece finally, and I was like, I realized that I think I did it. And I just fell on the ground and cried. I was like, oh shit. And now it's kind of like, you know, the poem leads the way, really.
And so is that different than your process or experience in writing the previous 3 books?
Is that different from my experience writing the other 3 books?
Yes.
Every single book has been different. You know, the one thing that's true across all the books is I've often thought I was doing one thing, and then it became clear later what I was doing. Not so much that it was a totally different thing than I thought, but I think I'm writing a fairy tale, and it turns out it's a thriller. Or I think I'm writing about leaves, and it's all about my grandmother. Or I think, it's that kind of thing. And so I live and love the surprise of it in that way. I was surprised when that first poem came and was clear that, that's what it was here for. It, just landed like a spaceship, and it was just like, I'm here for a purpose. This is what I'm doing. And I was like, oh, okay, well, let me shut up and get out the way. And so much of the work is let me shut up and get out the way. Let's be real. Yeah, of the work. You know, I'm here in service to the work. And I hope, especially with this book, that the work is in service to us.
And I felt like as I was reading that piece, in the piece where you talk about stillness.
Yeah, I don't know her.
Yeah,
but
and I thought that was so interesting how it felt like, you know, you critiquing stillness. Like it's a great concept, this concept of stillness, but it's performative. Like to get to that, you have to construct something. So you still have to do something in order to get to the stillness, and that's not a luxury that you have. Were you like in previous lives striving for stillness and just found that you were met with this brick wall, or was it something you always sort of like, yeah, no, that's not my life?
I mean, here's the thing, right? I'm like this kind of cat, right? Like I'm like boo 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 boo. I'm doing these things and I'm moving and I got to sit down and I don't sit down and I'm tapping my foot and I'm super ADD and that's fine. You know, we all have our things. And like the moment you're referring to, it just says I'm not like anti-stillness. I just don't know her. But that's another essay I'll likely never write. Let's be real. I crave and yearn for and survive through and because of stillness, right? But it's not a state that feels natural or comfortable. I always have to breathe my way into it. I always have to wake my way up slowly out of it. But it's also a supremely generative space. But also one of the things in another piece I talk about process, right? And for me, like I could write a whole book sitting in the hallway right there because, you know, I say I can write in a bar, in a restaurant, or some things because the cacophony of all of us talking and using language and moving all around us when nobody actually needs anything from me. Like the waiter will eventually know, like, bring me a new drink or leave me alone. I'm not having a conversation. Everything is happening and I don't have to pay attention to it, and yet I get to filter it all through. I get to be still in the storm. And that's something that feels really good to me.
So do you find yourself in those moments where it's the most chaotic? Is that when you write the most or you feel inspired?
Well, it's certainly like, I definitely do write in those places. Like all this will be happening and I'll be like that kid in the corner with the notebook going beep, 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 because I can kind of hear through the noise in a different way. But it's not like I go out of my way to find chaos, you know. I'm not like a true chaos muppet or anything. But the world is kind of, I think, chaotic right now. And that's so much about what this is too. Like I feel like we're not going to get through all of this right now. What's going on? Like this is a day where so much is happening, right? And we're not going to get through all of this without each other. We're not going to get to where we need to be, to some sort of safety, to some sort of living, to some sort of health, some sort of healing without each other. And sometimes we have to be able to see each other through the smoke. Like I'm old enough to remember when you could like smoke in bars and shit, all that stuff. And I'll never forget, I was in school and they passed a non-smoking thing, so you couldn't smoke in bars. And from like 1 year we were in school and we would go to this bar and play pool and all that stuff. And the next year we went and it was so freaky because it was like you could see everybody. Suddenly it was just like, oh, I see you. I see all of y'all all the way across the thing. This feels really impersonal. I'm like, oh yeah. There's something about the smoke, the shade that allows us to kind of move through a haze that's all been erased, and also now we see the like, oh, that's messed up. Oh, that's uncomfortable. Oh, that ain't cool. Oh.
And it feels so. As I'm listening to you, I'm thinking about today and what we're living in and all the smoke that surrounded us leading up to these moments that feel like, you know, the moments of clarity happening and you hoping it helps, but also at the same time offering space to say, I don't have the solution. It may not be okay. How is it that you as an artist feel comfortable enough to speak your truth to power, even in the face of like direct opposition and, you know, and people stifling and not supporting those free voices and thoughts?
Thank you so much. It's so interesting. I mentioned earlier, I was like, oh, maybe you can ask a question and I'll answer it with a poem. And I feel like this would be one of those answer it with a poem things because I'm not comfortable, first of all. You know, a lot of times I read and people are like, oh, how are you so fearless? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, that's a lie. I'm in no way fearless. I'm terrified all the time. This shit is crazy. But like, all of the people coming before us, look at all this. We're very clear that like we still have to do shit anyway. We still have to go out there. We still have to do the thing. We still have to not just survive, but anyway. So this is a poem that's also written as a libretto for like an orchestra for in DC and like all these things. But the poem had to exist first to create this whole other musical form. And in the back of this book, there's a QR code, so you can actually go and see the video and hear the music and do all, see, like there's video poetry in here. There's all these other things. And but the poem is a very different form, and it's just called Here's the Thing. Things fall apart. I am sort of sleeping, then I am on fire. Undone, burned, stripped of skin. I feel so raw these days. Flattened, full of doubt, numb. Rats thrive in sewers, so maybe I'm thriving. It may seem simple enough, but my dreams don't say so. This I think I know. No one notices me. Lost, alone, blind as a sewer rat, 6 feet back, gelatinous, underdone, 2 full rats still hungry, rich rat suing sewage, breadline rat, baker rat, transformed, stuck in a well, thriving. Burned into brick, road, milepost, sign, triumphant. I scream, but words burn like skyfire. Clammy, street rat, fell in a hole, stuck in a well. I rattle the cages of our children. Everywhere else is empty. I'm not saying I'm a prophet, but I know the meaning of a moment like ours. Burning. I'm almost sure I'm here. Transformed, torn apart, average, numb, boring, humdrum. No sound stays innocent. I am fluent in fire, fluent in indigo miseries. I am fluent in the absence of heat, a rat on the street, sudden and melt. I am fluent in how time presses a body. Here's the thing I'm not supposed to say. I saw others skulk the dark like me. Simple enough. I skulk away a little more each day. Maybe there's intelligent life, but I'm not it. How will we survive this having a body? Trying to be intelligent life. Fireball struck and stuck. I study the crows who know this, having a body to fly. Almost a dream, a sign you're not supposed to notice. A path. Who can I be? Blame the apocalypse. It melts, it bends, it never ends. Thing is, things fall apart. Every day, the end of the world is now again. Normal. I burn and remember having a body, how it feels, cold. If I hold no beauty in this slapdash world, then tuck me away from the heat of the day. Alone, I burn. Blame the humdrum numbness of the end of the world. Listen for the wind. Intelligent life, where is it? No sound and innocent means. Root, way. I am not saying I'm a prophet, but I always travel slightly singed, pressed by time. 6 feet back, I find the me who's tall as a gum tree, the me with copper hair, causeway me, opening, expansion, eyes open, heart full of doubt. I strike my fireballs and burn. Sort of dreaming, now volcano, now oil-slicked river, stripped of skin, fluent in the press of time. Body clammed, voice raw and syrup stripped, eyes open, sewer rat, thriving, no sound stays innocent. Rats, footpath, corridor, clearing, and yes, the bushes burn like skyfire and I decide to survive. Now I'm me with the bright yellow hair. Me with a normal? Do I even know that word? Did I ever? Is it normal to hang from a tree? Is normal inability to breathe? Are normal these panic attacks? Does normal stand whole bodies back, tucked away from the heat of the day? I listen for how to survive this body. Face twisted, slightly singed, fueled by my own crisp flames, condemned. I know the meaning of a moment, but here's the thing. Am I intelligent life? How could I tell? The crows know. I know I'm not road, I'm doorway. And when things fall apart again, I'll be here, my rectangular shade of blue. I'm not supposed to talk about transformation, though. Not the me with the hollow cheeks, the me with the blood-red stride, fluent in the need to dance, me with moles in 14 places here, having a body. Me with 3 nose rings, normal. I grasp for a branch, normal. I thrive, gutter rat. Me with the war wounds, the quiet burning of stars. The crows know. Who else can I be?
Wow. Thank you so much.
Of course.
So, if you're just joining us, we are here with the talented author, poet, educator, coach, Samiya Bashir, who's speaking and sharing parts of her book. I hope this helps. And right after this, she'll be in the lobby, which is around the bend, signing her book. You can purchase the book of poetry right in the bookstore, which is as soon as you walk out the door to your right. And you can definitely share her photo and her book and post about the Schomburg Centennial using the hashtag Schomburg100. So please do. And another shameless plug. So my name is Subha Ahmed. I am one of the instructors in the Schomburg Center's Junior Scholars Program, which serves 5th through 12th graders during the year. So if you have any young people between the ages of 10 and 18, they can come to the Schomburg Center and learn about Black history, culture, humanities, and perform and engage in arts programs every Saturday from October to May. The deadline for the application, which is online, is June 30th. So now what I'd love to do is just open it up for anyone who's here who'd like to ask Samiya a question or make a comment. I really enjoyed hearing your poetry and just reading through. I found it very cathartic and very healing, especially in times that we're, yes, in these times that we're living in, you know, which feel very uncertain and suffocating and heavy. And so, you know, I thank you so much for your work, and I look forward to reading more. Would anyone else like to ask a question or make a comment? Yes.
Hey.
Hi, I'm Sheree.
Hi, Sheree.
So I wanted to know, like, when you're writing versus when you're performing. When you're writing, do you think about how it's gonna land on the stage? Because like how you performed it, how you wrote it, might not be the same emotion. So do you have to bring up, say if you're writing a sad poem, and I'm not sad when I'm about to perform it. So are you bringing up those same emotions, or do you put a different spin on it when you're performing your piece versus when you're writing it?
Thank you for that question. So, for me, hopefully the way I wrote it is exactly the way it sounds and exactly the way I perform it and exactly like I write the musical score so anyone can pick it up and play it. You know, it's just like music on a page. It looks like ink. This is the ink on tree form of the poem. When I'm standing here and I'm talking to you, I'm moving the poem through my body to get to you. If it's a video poem, it's light and it's movement and it's bodies or it's, shadow. If it's music, then I get to mix my language with the musician's language and create a whole new language. You know, so for me, it's not a page or a stage or any of that. It's really like the poem is an alive thing. The work is an alive thing. And how can I get it out of wherever it comes from through my body into your body, which then goes back into the world it comes from.
Thank you so much.
Right.
Okay.
How do you connect your definition of stillness with liberation?
Ooh wee. I mean, first of all, imagine the right to stillness. Like in a black body, just the right to just like sit some the fuck where you want to, pardon my French, and be still. Whether it's in the middle of the street, whether it's in a forest, whether it's on the sea, whether it's still somebody's gonna run up on you, like, who are you doing, da 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 da, et cetera, et cetera. Right now, ICE is just running up, where are you from, blah, 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 show me your fucking freedom papers. You know? Like, stillness requires liberation. You know, in order to be able to feel safe enough to just sit still.
Wow. Yes.
You know, so I feel like we really need to integrate and figure out how to knit all of that together. If that answers your question. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Well, everyone, if you have any other questions or you'd like to take a photo with Samiya, perhaps you will bring your book. If you'd like to ask any other questions or take a photo with Samiya, then following this final poem, you can certainly find her in the lobby, which is around the bend, where you'll be able to get your book signed if you need to purchase the book. Our bookstore is right to the right, our gift shop. Check it out. Again, you can stay in this space or come back to this space because we have yet another book talk with
Mo
Mahogany.
Brown.
Yes, with Mahogany Brown right after this. And please post, please share, hashtag Schomburg100 and support our beautiful authors. Thank you so much. Before
Absolutely.
she closes, can we give her some love and a round of applause? Thank you so much for being
Aw,
here.
thank y'all.
And
Thank
thank
y'all.
you all.
So I'm going to close with a short poem that kind of lives in a circle. And I'm sharing this because, you know, I'm a collaborative artist, too. So this poem was written and then translated by the artist Sonia Clark into hair. She created a font of our hair, and it's printed in that way as well. And it's just kind of lived in all these different ways, right? But out of conversation with another sister artist. And part of it, I'm closing with this because, again, of like where we are today, because of this idea of what is liberation. And because they not like us. This is called Nail Hard. As I was saying, your idea of death ain't mine. I'll sprout anyhow. Flourish. Your rotting flesh don't make me, no, never mind. Stretch. Not too long, just long enough, just dark-ish growth, hard as illusions. And furthermore, as I was saying, your death ain't mine. I sprout anyhow. Your rot, your flesh don't make me, no, never mind. Stretch. Not too long, long enough, dark, grow. Hard as illusion. And furthermore, as I was saying, your death ain't my idea. I'll sprout anyhow. Flourish. Your rot, your ting, your flesh, don't make me, no, never mind. Stretch, not too long, just enough, just dark-ish growth. Hard as illusions. But furthermore, thank you.